You have hope that Donald can do a good job at this point? I mean, is he going to come out of his...
I think that his decisions are almost entirely ego-based, and that's...
I'm not usually a put him in jail kind of gal, but I really want him to...
Ugh, feels gross calling his dumb words rhetoric. It's like calling farts pelvic wind chimes. But by rhetoric, I mean his constant drumbeat of a loaded language that creates convenient enemies. Lock her up. And make no mistake, he has a cause, and that cause has an effect. This week, Trump showed his nationalism by casting Central American refugees, human beings literally fleeing violence and poverty, as a fake threat to our nation. And while most humans would see these refugees and feel great compassion, Trump sees an opportunity to incite fear, his most powerful motivator. In fact, the administration is working on an even stricter family separation policy, forcing parents to choose between giving up their children or going to prison as a family. They're calling it binary.
Bottom, we know we'll just let him go. And no, he committed crimes. He inspired and encouraged an insurrection. I mean, there's too many things. For me, just for his crimes against humanity alone, the cruelty is the point of separating babies from their parents and putting them in cages.
I'm not typically the kind of person who wishes for someone to end up behind bars. But I have to admit, I wouldn't mind seeing it happen this time. There's still a glimmer of hope that Donald can turn things around. But let's be real at this point. Are we even expecting that? His decisions seem to be driven almost entirely by ego, and that is dangerous. You won't believe what just went down.
He's not even worth it. He is a void. He's unwell. He's building an incredible case for an insanity plea. So let me direct this to the one group of people who are actually going to make this decision. Senators, please believe me when I say this is no longer a job interview. This is a line in the sand, and you have to pick a side. And the side is no longer Republican or Democrat. Your vote is a statement. And that statement is either, hell no, this is not okay, this is not who we are, or it's telling every woman, every girl, every boy, every person that what happens to women's bodies...
Sarah Silverman went absolutely savage on Donald. Trump live on air. No filter, no hesitation. Just straight up torching the former president like an overcooked Thanksgiving turkey. Did she cross the line? Or was she simply voicing what everyone else was thinking? Either way, Trump's probably rage tweeting from an anonymous account as we speak. Buckle up, this might just be the wildest rant you'll hear all week. We know who he is, and yet we still let him walk free. No, he committed crimes. He incited and encouraged an insurrection, and honestly, there are too many
somehow managed to work in Islamophobia into all of this, claiming that groups of refugees are secretly harboring Middle Easterners who, I guess, I don't know, took a plane to Honduras and then decided to walk 1,000 miles. I mean, where does he even get these ideas? They're so crazy and yet so familiar. Wait a minute. This whole secret Middle Eastern refugee conspiracy is the plot point of my favorite novel, The Way of the Shadow Wolves, by esteemed author and noted intellectual Steven Seagal. This is real. I'm not sure you want to take your foreign policy cues from a book written by an 80s action star, and if you do, why not go with Arnold Schwarzenegger or Carl Weathers, or at least someone without a ponytail and a pocket goatee? And Trump could not have read this. He does not
like that never get punished. They never go to jail. Now, this has been a president of unprecedented presidency. He's done a lot of unprecedented things. I don't know. I didn't plan this ahead of time, but I'm just saying maybe one of the unprecedented things of Trump's presidency is he goes to jail for his
offenses to count. Just based on his sheer cruelty, alone separating babies from their parents and locking them in cages. It's mind-boggling that he's not being held accountable. Microphone in hand. Sarah Silverman didn't just criticize Trump, she completely annihilated him on live television. If words were dodgeballs, Trump just got hit square in the face at full speed, and the slow-motion replay only makes it better. It was a verbal takedown. So brutal that even Secret Service agents probably had to take a moment to...
If you only get your news from Fox News or the president's tweets, it's fine. Keep doing that. I only ask that you read a couple other points of view as well. You are eating all carbs. You need some vegetables. Yes, you might not like the taste at first, but it's good for you and it will make your healthier. Well, our president threw another party for himself, another rally full of laughs and cheering, all at the expense of a woman who shared her story of sexual assault. Trigger warning on this video for anybody out there who is human.
Process what just happened. It feels wrong, even calling his nonsense rhetoric. That's too dignified. It's like calling farts pelvic wind chimes. His words aren't just empty noise, they have real consequences. The lock her up chants, the divisive language, the constant scapegoating, it all adds up. This week, Trump decided to flaunt his nationalism by painting Central American refugees actual human beings, fleeing violence and poverty as a fake threat to our country, where most people would see desperate families and feel compassion. Trump saw an opportunity to incite fear, his favorite political weapon, and as if his past policies weren't draconian enough, the administration was reportedly working on an even stricter family separation plan, forcing parents to choose between giving up their children or facing prison time together.
How did you get home? I don't remember. How'd you get there? I don't remember. Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know.
Even gave it a name. Binary choice. Look, roasting Trump isn't exactly a challenge. It's like dunking on a 5-foot basketball hoop. The material practically writes itself. But Silverman, she took it to a whole new level. She didn't just call him out, she dragged him across a political minefield and left him there. And Trump, bless his cheeseburger-loving heart, probably didn't even see it coming. He's not even worth it. He's a black hole of chaos. He's completely unwell. If anything, he's making an incredible case for an insanity plea. But let me speak to the one group that can actually do something about this senator. This isn't a job interview anymore. This is a defining moment. You have to choose a side. And this time, it's not about
Patriotism and nationalism, to me, are very different things. Like, patriotism is loving your country. I'm a total patriot. I love the difference between loving America and USA as number one is like the difference between a desire for progress and change versus we're perfect and we'll never change, which is crazy because change is how you stay number one. I mean, if you don't change with the times, you die. Take it from my good friend Blockbuster Vic.
Where they have a law where if you get an abortion in those states or have a miscarriage, you are responsible for paying for a funeral for the fetal tissue. Crazy. And heinous. And I want to speak at those funerals. He died the way he lived. The size of a sesame seed with no discernible brain function. He will be returned now to the soil where he will, I don't know, get eaten by a cricket, maybe?
Well, he did it. We finally have video of Trump saying the N-word.
You know, they have a word. It sort of became old-fashioned. It's called a nationalist. And I say, really, we're not supposed to use that word. You know what I am? I'm a nationalist, okay? I'm a nationalist.
all right, not the N-word, but an N-word. He went full Hitler and admitted he's a nationalist. We can stop calling it a dog whistle. This is now a full-blown, come here, buddy, come here, who's the racist boy? Yes, you are.
It's either, hell no, this is not okay, this is not who we are, or it's telling every woman, every girl, every boy, every person that what happens to women's bodies does not matter, that women's truths don't matter, that you get yourself sexually assaulted, and if you have the nerve to come forward with it, it is a mistake, and the President of the United States will mock you for it.
Well, the story, but he would be like, everyone's out to get me, and I'd be like, you're right, 2 Chainz. Damn it. I mean, Steve. But I always took his side because I loved him and I believed him. But I believed him because I only ever heard his perspective. I was only hearing his side. He was my Fox News. I fiercely protected him, and I took on any fight he had, because when you love someone, not only do you want to see the best in them, you need to see the best in them. It's survival. And that's what Trump is right now. He is your boyfriend. You know, he starts off great, he picks you up in a limo with flowers, and he's like, baby, I'll take care of you. And you're like, wow, whoa, you know? And then slowly you get the feeling that maybe this was all for show, that maybe he's not that.
Party lines. It's about basic human decency. Your vote is either a statement that says, no, this is unacceptable, or it's a slap in the face to every woman, every child, every person who has suffered because of his policies. And let's not forget Trump's unquenchable thirst for attention. The man doesn't just crave the spotlight, he treats it like a personal servant. Even if he were the last person on Earth, he'd still call a press conference, just to remind the tumbleweeds that he's the greatest leader in history. He's the only person who can make getting indicted sound like an accomplishment. Nobody gets indicted better than me, he'd say. I have the best indictments. And of course, he found a way to squeeze Islamophobia into all of this, claiming that refugee groups were secretly harboring Middle Easterners, as if they somehow took a plane to Honduras just to walk 1,000 miles undetected. Where does he even come up with this stuff? Oh wait, that's right. This conspiracy theory sounds suspiciously like the plot of an obscure book by none other than Steven Seagal. Yes, that's Steven Seagal, the action star. Is Trump seriously taking foreign policy cues from an 80s martial arts movie? Reject. People are saying these are the most luxurious indictments ever. Silverman mocked, as if Trump's spray tan were melting off in real time. The man lives in an alternate reality where he's a genius businessman, a beloved leader, and wait for it, a victim. That's right. The same guy who led chants of lock her up now sobs like a toddler. Who dropped his ice cream? Witch hunt. Political persecution. Maybe someone should get him a pacifier before he tries to sue Gravity for making him trip at math. And let's not even get started on his fashion choices. Silverman shredded his infamous oversized suit like it personally owed her money. He dresses like a mob boss who got kicked out of a Spirit Halloween store. If his suits were any bigger, they'd qualify for their own zip code. You'd think a self-proclaimed billionaire could afford a tailor who isn't just guessing with duct tape and a prayer. Of course, no Trump roast would be complete without mentioning the hair. That golden, swirling enigma sitting atop his head like a haunted cotton candy machine. Scientists have spent years trying to classify it. Is it a wig? A small animal seeking asylum? A sentient being planning world domination? Whatever it is, it has more consistency than his political policies. And then there's his Twitter addiction. Whatever social media platform he's hijacked now. Trump on social media is like a raccoon with a stolen phone, chaotic, unpredictable, and deeply concerning. His all caps rants feel like he's trying to contact extraterrestrials, and half the time, It's unclear if he's arguing with autocorrect or just losing his mind. Silverman tore into his speaking style like a dog with a chew toy. Many people are saying tremendous things. Believe me, we've never seen anything like it. Listening to him talk is like playing Mad Libs with a malfunctioning robot. If you took a shot every time he said fake news, you'd be unconscious before the next commercial break. She even took aim at his so-called business acumen. Trump's financial success is about as real as a unicorn, she scoffed. Casinos bankrupt. Airlines, steak company bankrupt. The only thing he successfully built is a cult of followers. Who mistake, billionaire for business genius, instead of guy who inherited daddy's money and still somehow failed. And let's not forget his reality TV approach to leadership. The White House under Trump wasn't a government, it was a low-budget season of The Apprentice, government edition, except instead of firing contestants, he was firing respected officials and generals for the crime of having common sense. If you didn't swear blind loyalty, you were out faster than a bad karaoke singer on American Idol. Silverman even joked about what Trump would be like running a McDonald's drive-thru. Sir, we don't have bigly fries. And no, you can't build a wall between the McNuggets and the Filet-O-Fish. But perhaps the most bizarre thing about Trump is his obsession with dictators. While past presidents worked to strengthen alliances, Trump was out here fangirling over authoritarian leaders like a teenager with a celebrity crush. At the end of the day, this isn't just about political theater. This is about a man who continuously proves he's unfit for leadership. And thanks to Sarah Silverman, we all got a front row seat to the roast of the century. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe.